Hey guys, Deathletter Magic here, and this weekend got away from me, and I've got 2 videos hopefully to finish editing for my other channel. You know, the one that's growing and making money. So we got a couple little mini stories. First up, remember Festival in a Box, the $270, even I don't remember what it is? Was that the I can't go to Vegas for the thing, but I still want to pay about the same amount of money thing? Anyway, they missed the shipping date, so I guess it's not a simultaneous release that takes the place of Vegas, if that's even what it was. So naturally, instead of apologizing or, planning ahead or turning in their homework on time, WotC just decided to, remove the shipping date from the website. And then it got 1,700 upvotes, and I can't even imagine how many views on Reddit. So good job covering that up, WotC. Next up, a lot of Warhammer players that I guess were into Magic, or I don't know what led them to buy the Warhammer Commander product thing. But the ones that did and got the foil edition are apparently regretting it. I've heard lots and lots and lots of accounts of them saying, what the hell, these are already curling? Are these counterfeits? Are these a real card? I thought this was the biggest card game in the world. Yeah, thanks for catching up with the rest of us. Please never buy another product from WotC ever again. I mean, you could have bought a Titan. I mean, those don't curl at all. Next up, I believe I mentioned this at the end of the last video, but I'll throw it in here because it's taken off once again. Big controversy with Magic's new Secret Lair Extra Life thing that they do, I'd say every year, but the last couple years. And it only benefits their one local hospital in the rich, stuck-up liberal city that they live in. And some people are taking issue with that yet again. And the number 2 thing that bugs me about this is people still don't understand how taxes work. They're like, oh, but it's a write-off. I don't think you understand how tax write-offs work. If a product costs $30 and it costs you $15 to make it, and so you take the proceeds, which is $15, and you take it in as income, and then you send it right back out the door as a $15 donation, that's a net zero. You have no gain from that whatsoever, unless, of course, you're lying about the cost of production and exaggerating expenses and pocketing a slight margin. Now, I'm not saying they're doing that. And the next story is Mark Rosewater dropping some knowledge bombs on us. Someone just straight up asked him, is BFZ, Battle for Zendikar, still the best-selling set of all time? Which, I mean, I'm not that surprised. I would have maybe said top 3. I wouldn't have said 1. But remember, it's not popular, it's not valuable, it's not staying power, it's not anything. It's not even deck value or any metric relating to popularity. It's best selling. How many people bought them? And how many did they print to be bought? Because you can't buy more if more don't exist. And they printed BFZ to death. Expeditions, full art lands. Simple. But of course they asked them if it's not the best-selling set of all time, which currently is. And Mark said it has been passed by many sets. It hasn't been many years, so that's a little surprising, but he says it has been passed by many sets. I believe Modern Horizons 2 currently holds the record. Is anybody else so shocked by that you actually think he might have misspelled Modern Masters 2? Nothing could have possibly outsold Modern Masters 2. It is not possible. Now, per unit per pack versus dollar amount, okay, also Mark's not in the accounting department. Who knows if he's even right? He even just said, I believe. But MH2? I mean, just about every card in that damn set was banned eventually. It was a disaster. It was an overpowered nightmare, but I'm not even sure they did a wave 2 on that. I mean, it was moderately successful, but MM2 was insane. MM3 was nutty. Double Masters 2, I think people were still a little bit leery. Ultimate Masters was insane. Double Masters 2 sold like crazy. Although the economy wasn't in a great place and a lot of people were out of the Magic world by that point. MH2 holding the record. I do not believe that. But like I said, is it dollar amount? Is it number of units? Was it net profit after costs? Because then per pack and shipping weight would make a big difference. I don't believe him. Speaking of things that Mark said that I don't fully believe, although this one, I could see it. Somebody asked, a mistake folks in the hyper-enfranchised, intensely online segment of the Magic community make is thinking that all players are like them. It's Mark's blog. It's somebody asking him a question on social media. To me, the tone's already pretty set, but we can get past that and just read this for what the words are. So to paraphrase, we might buy products because whatever, but most people aren't like that. Could you share a stat I've heard you reference in the past about what percentage of players have ever seen a Planeswalker? Go ahead, pause the video or quickly think what percentage of active players in the community right now know what a planeswalker is and have seen one. I assume they mean the card type, not the character. Okay, I doubt there's construction on a Sunday night in my neighborhood, and last night I couldn't make a video because the cops were arresting someone right in front of my house. I live in a really nice neighborhood. Anyway, if you're beeping, I don't know what it is, but if it continues, I'm going to go out there and see what's up. Anyway, they end with the median MTG customer is not who we think. So he wrote, the stat I gave is that the vast majority of tabletop Magic players, over 75%. That's the number he's saying. And I've heard him quote similar stats about similar topics in the past, don't know what a planeswalker is. So to me, that sounds like they might play a planeswalker card and it says planeswalker right on the darn card, but they don't know what it is. They just know that they're playing a type of card that does a thing, and it's probably some kind of character, but they don't know what it means or what planeswalking means. That's my take on what he said, and I could see that. But I mean, the majority of Dark Souls 3 and Elden Ring players know some of the lore. So I don't know about that, and like, how did they even reach out to these people to poll them, Anyway, he also goes on to say, with the same 75%, they don't know what a format is, let alone know of any particular format. I don't believe that either. Don't frequent Magic content on the internet, including this blog. I absolutely believe both of those. And they are far less knowledgeable about the game than the enfranchised fans realize. They both act like this is some kind of big negative, or like, it's not just, oh, here's an interesting fact you might not have thought of. They both come across as like condescending, or that like we're all doing something wrong, or like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just projecting, but I know what people on his blog are like, and I know what he's like, so I don't think I'm projecting that hard, or extrapolating, or whatever. I think projecting means it's me. No, I'm not like that. But I think the stat I heard him say is that 90 to 95% of players, I think they had said like out of the 10 million estimated, like 9 million just play at home, don't play a format, anything goes, self-policed, whatever decks from whatever age, they just played whatever. But not knowing what a format is, I mean, I guess like if I said Eternal format, do you play that? They'd be like, what is that? It's like, oh, just anything legal. Oh yeah, we play that. We play anything legal. Like, most people know Age of Card means a thing, and that every card game ever pretty much has had like a rotating league, or specifically doesn't. I don't know about that. I think if you took like a casual on and off player, what other friends had to say the word standard or F&M at some point, or mention something about legality and that, like, oh, but our group doesn't care. They've come across it. Come on. Just because they can't name it or any of that, or they don't know they're playing a format or not playing a format, that doesn't mean that they don't know what a format is. I think that's a little bit of a stretch. Just like not knowing what a planeswalker is, I don't know, man. It seems like a very anomalous poll, and then you got to get into like statistical sampling errors and that kind of stuff. And lastly, remember how disruptive, annoying, and ban-worthy a lot of the command cards were in multiple formats? Well, they've already confirmed that there's going to be a card called Mishra's Command in the new Brothers War set. Also, one of the bundles, or as everybody else calls them, fat packs, for Phyrexia All Will Be One, is already listed for $80 on Amazon, somehow. I feel like double the price is a little high. And finally, just a couple days ago, Magic Online has officially transferred to Daybreak Games, out of the control of WotC. I thought this happened quite a while ago, but I guess it was still transitioning, or who knows. But if you're wondering why some standard sets and some standard cards, or whatever's going on, I obviously don't play it, have taken weeks to months to get into MTGO, it's because I guess they see it as any development money put into it now is just development money that could be spent by Daybreak in the future, and is basically going right down the toilet. But so is all of Magic the Gathering, so maybe they should have given a crap. Now here is where it gets really interesting. The pop-up was a little different than what I heard. When people launched it a couple days ago, they would have seen Magic Online is now published by Daybreak Games. Due to this change, you will need to uninstall the current application and install the version available at the new Magic Online website. So that's right, they're not just taking over the code and managing it, they redid the executable or something. Maybe it's just publisher data, maybe it's like, you got to register with Windows 10 and Microsoft, that might be a thing. It's not like a driver, it might just be a technical thing and they just sent them the code, adapted it, and put a new certificate on it or whatever, but who knows? But it does say when this dialog is dismissed, you will be directed to the UI to uninstall the current application, as well as the web page from which to download the new version. So Daybreak Games is owned by Sony, and it's also like controlled by Inception Acquisitions, which I don't know much about, and then also Enad Global 7, which is a Swedish company. So it's not like they're sending you to some Chinese site to download some Chinese spyware-ified version, but I don't trust new stuff until some people analyze it. So if you're playing MTGO, I would stay off it for a while and not download the new version just out of absolute, an abundance of safety. I'm not saying they're like pushing malware or anything, but if there's like a flaw in it or something, I don't know what they did to the code. They may not either. I don't know. Honestly, MTGO is kind of trash, but if they put a ton of money into it and fix it, make it actually kind of good, and you just want a place to go play, other formats, Eternal formats, Modern, drafts, that kind of stuff, then I would still not download it and go play a different platform. There are free ones out there, although gray area legality, I'm not even touching that, so I'm not officially endorsing it. But I suspect that Daybreak didn't buy it because they are just that charitable and want to run it because they're just that passionate about Magic, and I doubt Wizards sold it because it was making tons of money. There's two good reasons to just play literally any other alternative. Most of them are crap, but at least they're free. The last story, hopefully I didn't already say that twice already, but I apparently took really crappy notes. A once-in-a-lifetime collection, as it's being called, just got done being appraised by Card Market, and it's going up for auction. And it's a German guy who got the cards from America and just kind of sat on them since 1995. 1995-ish, or shortly after. And he said, yeah, I didn't pay, a ton of money for these, but well, what do we got here? Let's see. We got a Sapphire, a Time Walk. We've got a Lotus. we got everything. It's the whole dang Power 9. 8.5, 9 rating, 8.5, 7.5, 8.5, 9, 8.5, 8, and 8.5. Oh, and the collector has 3 Lotuses, actually. Well. It turns out that when multiple Lotuses show up in one location, once in a while, they are real. It's almost like I've been covering Magic news for almost 10 years, and I've seen a lot of fakes and a couple real ones, and here's a real one. Yeah, the other video's coming out soon. This could take me more hours than I have. So the whole collection with like all kinds of other stuff, Chaos Orb, we got some dual lands, all that. They're going up for auction. They're valued at, I think, right around to over €1 million, which is almost exactly equivalent to $1 million USD at the moment. Thanks, Biden. And yeah, these are all graded. They're all vetted. They're real. The story checks out all that stuff. So yeah, this is just absolutely nutty. I think anybody who buys them right now, not that smart with the state of the game and the number of active players and Hasbro's stock price. I don't think these are a particularly great investment. And honestly, this guy probably would have gotten, I hate to say like double it. I don't know. You don't know what these sell for until they sell. There's not a ton of these floating around and this many all at once. Is it a bulk discount? Would you get more because they're all together? I don't know. But I could say with some certainty that if he would have sold them in 2019 to 2020, when people were just buying up stuff like crazy to avoid inflation, he could have gotten more money. This is some bad timing. Look at the picture of the collection if you want on edhrec.com, but man, that pile of graded cards, I don't even know how many are in there. It looks like about 100 cards. This is insane. And yeah, people do occasionally come out of the woodwork and just have these. And most of them bought them in the 90s. It's that simple. They didn't, I bought them to flip them. Ooh, look at me. I made a 30%. I'm selling them. 30% might be what the auction company's going to charge you. Investing in these is a really stupid idea. It's just like people who like invest in silver at 20 an ounce and then when it hits 26 an ounce, they're like, ha, I can sell it. And then they go to the jewelry store or the pawn shop and sell it for like 14. Oops. You buy at face or lower or slightly above it on Facebook, depending upon the trends, and then you sell it on Facebook or Craigslist. That's why it's almost weird to put this up for auction, but this is just like a rich collector or like a super not so smart investor who's going to have a hell of a time offloading these in the future. I don't think these can go much higher. It'll be really interesting to see what these end up going for. Well, this is the Desolator News Network series, and I only cover crazy news stories, so yes, these are the crazy news stories from the last week or two in the Magic world. Subscribe if you don't want to miss more, and I'll see you guys next video.